Hey everyone, welcome to the weekend edition. It's Saturday right now, so we're going to take a look at a couple of things. First things we're going to take a look at is what's happening with Bitcoin right now and Ethereum in the last 12 hours or so since we did a video last night. We'll also take a look at which Bitcoin miners are undervalued or overvalued based on a couple of metrics. We're going to look at 4 metrics. Those include basically their market cap divided by like their hash rate, divided by also their Bitcoins mined, and other things as well. We'll take a look at those and then basically show you which ones are possibly undervalued and which ones are possibly overvalued based on what we're seeing, okay? But as always, you guys know the drill here. This is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm invested in coins and companies for full disclosure. And like as always, if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out, and hit the notification bell as well. Okay, so let's take a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum really quick here. Right now, Bitcoin is, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart right now. It's still looking pretty good right now in the 4-hour chart. Bitcoin's up approximately 0.41% right now. It's at 30,591. There's not much going on there. On the daily chart, it's looking pretty good still. The RSI is coming down, price is going up, so that's looking good. 4-hour chart, we're still seeing kind of a indecision here right now as far as which way it wants to go on it. We are, however, seeing a little bit different story here on the 1-hour chart, but we're seeing that the RSI, if we look at it here, between certain points, between here and here, we can see that Bitcoin price was up higher than it is right now on the RSI number side of things. So it might turn on us a little bit, but we'll see if that's going to play out that way or not. Ethereum on the other side is actually down right now. It's down 0.67% on the day currently, and it is also kind of following suit over here with Bitcoin a little bit here. If we look at the valleys here and the peaks, we can see that Bitcoin is actually, well, Ethereum, sorry, is actually doing the same thing kind of. It's actually up a little bit, you could say. If we look at the valley here and valley back here, it's actually up in the price right now. So it's doing a little bit differently than Bitcoin is right now, okay? We'll see how this is going to continue going forward over the weekend. Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's get into the main story that we're going to take a look at here, which is obviously which Bitcoin miners are undervalued and overvalued. And I'm going to try to explain this as best as I can for you guys. So the first charts that you see up top here, these are taking a look at market cap divided by hash rate. So we're getting the, what are these, like dark green, I guess, gray green bars here. Those represent, if you take the market cap and divide it by their hash rate, what that value is, basically the value that they're getting for their hash rate. And then the pink, I guess you could say pink or light red lines are actually what their current hash rate is. So what we're looking at here is to have the red, light red bars being, if they're above the green lines, that means that they're undervalued. And the opposite is true, is if they're below the green lines, that means that they're overvalued based on market cap divided by hash rate, okay? So based on this, excuse me, we can see that Argo is obviously having the red above the green. It's telling me that it's undervalued or undervalued on this. BitDigital is highly overvalued here based on this. You can see it. Bitfarms is undervalued. Cypher is overvalued. CleanSpark is undervalued. Core Scientific obviously is undervalued, being at 14.8 exahash right now. DigiHost is overvalued. DMG is overvalued based on this. Hive is overvalued as well. They're getting 128,000 per petahash basically of value. Hut, extremely overvalued as well. They're getting 281,000 on that. Iris Energy is undervalued. Marathon is actually undervalued as well. They're at 15.2 exahash. They should be getting more in line with what like Hut 8 is getting and BitDigital is getting for their value for their hash rate, but they're not. Mawson is overvalued right now, it looks like, based on what they have and what they're getting for it. Riot appears to be getting actually pretty good value right now, so they're pretty well valued for their current hash rate right now. Okay, Sphere is overvalued a little bit here, just slightly. TerraWolf is also overvalued a little bit as well for the amount that they have installed right now. Okay, so that's the first metric. Next, we take a look at the same thing, but this time around we're taking the HODL out of it. So I'm subtracting the HODL value that they currently have, which is based on the Bitcoin average price for the month of June right now. Okay, so we're using that, and then we're getting similar results here a little bit with respect to this, except for I think a couple of them changed a little bit. But you can see here that we're getting Argo is still undervalued, BitDigital still way overvalued, Bitfarms undervalued, Cypher overvalued, CleanSpark undervalued, Core undervalued, DigiHost undervalued, DMG undervalued, Hive still, sorry, DigiHost, DMG, and Hive are overvalued. Hut 8 is overvalued as well. But you can see the decrease it has had on their HODL position from 281 100,000 per petahash to 183,000 per petahash. Iris Energy is still undervalued. Marathon undervalued, but that one has come down a little bit here to 130 from 152,000. Mawson is still overvalued. Riot now looks more like it's undervalued based on this if you take out their HODL position. And then Sphere is still slightly overvalued, and then TeraWolf is still overvalued on that one, okay? So that kind of shows me a couple of things here. We can see which ones are kind of undervalued and overvalued on this. And then if we go down here, this one is a comparison to the current Bitcoin price of where it's at. So what I'm doing here is taking the market cap, dividing it by the current average Bitcoin price for the month of June. And we're taking a look to see against their current hash rate, okay? So here things get a little bit more interesting on this as well. You can see that Argo is still undervalued. BitDigital, however, now comes in being a lot less overvalued than they were up here. Bitfarms, still same thing, actually increased in their undervalue amount here. Cypher is now undervalued as well based on this. CleanSpark still undervalued. Core Scientific undervalued. Now we got DigiHost being undervalued with this. DMG being also undervalued with this. Hive now being undervalued with this as well. Hut 8 still overvalued. Iris being undervalued now. Marathon being undervalued just slightly based on this. Mawson still being now being undervalued. Riot actually being now overvalued based on this. And then Sphere would be undervalued along with TeraWolf based on where the Bitcoin prices and their terahash number is right now, okay? So that's the next metric. And the final metric that we have here is MCAP divided by the BTC mined for, and we're using the BTC mined for May here, okay? So what the market cap is divided by what they actually mined in May. And I'll probably update this when we get June figures for these guys here. We'll take a look at that as well. So Argo now you can still see is undervalued. BitDigital, based on this, they only mined 113 Bitcoin in May. They're getting 2.9 million per BTC mined. Bitfarms still undervalued. Cypher still undervalued. CleanSpark still undervalued. Core Scientific still undervalued. DigiHost overvalued. DMG overvalued. Hive overvalued. Hut 8 extremely overvalued. They're getting 4.9 million per BTC mined. They only mined 147 Bitcoin. Iris undervalued. Marathon undervalued. They're only getting 1.864 million for the BTC that they mined, per BTC mined. And then we got Mawson is overvalued. Riot is now overvalued as well. They're getting 3.061 million. Sphere is kind of, I would say, okay on that one, along with TeraWolf. They're being pretty well valued here. I don't see any lines here of the green up top or below it, so they're pretty well valued here as far as the BTC mined and their market cap right now, okay? So based on all of those, we can take a look at some numbers here that we added up. So in this, I use the metrics M1, M2, M3, M4, which are the ones on top. And then I graded them. Basically, if they're undervalued, they get a -1 point. If they're overvalued, they get a 1 point. And then we calculated it all up here. And then here's the results that we get out of all these. And if we run these, let's do these in ascending order, we can see here that Argo, Bitfarms, CleanSpark, Core Scientific, Iris, and Marathon appear to be still undervalued based on the 4 metrics they scored, basically undervalued on all 4 of them. Then we got Riot, Sphere 3D, and TeraWolf appear to be pretty well valued or equally valued right now. They're at 0 on all of these. Then you got Cypher, DigiHost, DMG, Hive, and Mawson being a little bit overvalued, not much. And then you got BitDigital and Hut 8 being extremely overvalued. They scored a 4 and basically overvalued on all 4 of those metrics. So those guys are way overvalued for where they should be right now based on their exahash, their Bitcoin production, and things like that. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of this. This is just one of the things that I look at when grading the miners here. From here, I would actually then go back into the actual miners themselves and take a look at it. So if we take a look at, let's just take a look at Hut 8, right? Let's take a look at the 2 that are overvalued right now based on these metrics. So if we look at Hut 8, I have them at currently they're at $3.03 on the stock market. With a PE of 10, we don't know how that's going to work out with them going forward when they do actually merge with USBTC. But I have them between $1.26 and $1.88 based on what they have been mining here in the past, right? That's based on the last 3 quarters. The current quarter they're in right now, this is the numbers that I'm getting for them. This is where I think they should be equally valued, I guess. And they're definitely overvalued on this one. So that actually coincides with what I'm seeing in there. Next one was BitDigital as well. Take a look at that one here. BitDigital also, based on what they have mined in the past 3 quarters, the current quarter, PE of 10, with the 50% net income, we're looking at $2.02 for the stock to $3.03. They're currently at $4.06. This tells me that they're overvalued. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the ones that are undervalued here. Let's take a look at Argo. Argo is a tough one here to crack because they're pretty much done as far as their hash rate growth is concerned, but they are still, with what they have been mining here, their last 3 quarters, current quarter, with a P of 5, so that's very low growth for them. They should be between $2.63 to $3.94, so they are undervalued in my opinion in this one. Let's take a look at Bitfarms as well. Bitfarms, we can see here, they should be based on what their past 3 quarters, current quarter, 50% net with a P of 15 because they still have some growth left in them, quite a bit. I have them between $3.85 to $5.78. They're $1.47. Definitely way undervalued. Let's take a look at also CleanSpark here. CleanSpark, looking at them, they should be somewhere between. They still have a lot of growth, right? They're getting to 16 exahash. They're at 6 point something right now. Their last 3 quarters, current quarter that we're in, is an estimated one, obviously. 50% net income P of 20. We're looking at $12.65 to $18.97. They're at $4.29. They are way undervalued as well. And then the other one was Iris Energy as well. If we look at that one, I have that one as well for the last 3 quarters, current quarter, numbers P of 15. They are getting close. They're saying that they're going to get to, I think, 8 exahash. It's their plan here, possibly even higher than that, depending on how much they actually buy. But right now, they're pretty much fully installed from where they said they were going to be. So it's kind of tough one to crack also. I'm giving him a little bit of benefit of doubt of getting more miners installed. So I have them at P of 15. That would be $10.37. And P of 15 with 75% net income, they'd be at $15.55. They're at $4.66 right now. This tells me that they're still undervalued quite a bit. Okay, then who else do we have here? Marathon. Let's take a look at Marathon really quick as well. Marathon, if we look at that one, is over here. Marathon, if we look down here, we can see here, they are, well, P of 20. They probably should get a P even higher than that because they are growing quite a bit here to 20 some exahash. They're already at 15 exahash right now. They should be fetching between $10.64 to $15.97. They're at $13.86. I still think they're a little bit undervalued based on where they should be. Okay, so that's kind of how I look at things. Look at some metrics, then compare them to the numbers that I have here for their actual production, their revenue, things like that, see where they're coming in at, and then kind of gives me an idea. Yeah, they're truly undervalued, or man, maybe not so much, but they are definitely undervalued. Let's take a look at some of the ones that are actually in the zero here. So Riot, let's take a look at Riot as well. We'll take a Riot, Sphere. Riot over here, we can see here that they are at P of 20 also, between $8.95 to $13.42. They're still kind of undervalued, or I would say equally valued. You could look at Marathon as well, but Marathon obviously should be getting a little bit more of a premium because of the exahash that they do have installed. Now, Riot did say that they're going to be growing theirs as well to 20 something exahash as well. So they could definitely fetch a little bit more than that. So I still think that they are well valued to a little bit undervalued right now. Okay, next one would be Sphere. Sphere obviously has been having issues there by the numbers here. They actually should be undervalued, whereas over there they're showing that they're pretty fairly valued. I'm giving only a P of 5 here for the last 3 quarters in the current quarter that we're in. So $2.11 to $3.60. They're $1.94 right now, but they've had nothing but issues getting miners installed. They did reach was a 1 exahash here just recently. Otherwise, you can see here that the performance has been pretty lackluster, 100 petahash for 6-7 months. Then they were at 433. Finally, in May, they were able to jump up to 1 exahash. So this is mainly why the stock is down. So there's other things you have to take a look at as well. And then finally, TeraWulf here as well. If we look at TeraWulf, TeraWulf should be between $1.57 to $2.35. They're $1.75. Yeah, I could say that they are fairly valued right now. Maybe a little bit undervalued if you go up to the higher 75% net income, somewhere around there. But with them, they've had also pretty good growth here. They've gone up to 4 exahash here recently. And they're pretty new here. So depending on where they continue to grow, I believe they're supposed to get to like 5.3. So they still have some growth left in them. So I would say they would actually be undervalued right now as it is. Okay. So based on all of that, let's see here, where was it? Based on all those numbers and all these metrics here, let me know if you guys agree with this or disagree. But this definitely helps me figure out which ones I think I want to get into going forward. And I've kind of used this. I've never actually displayed it to you guys this way, I don't think. Maybe in some other ways a little bit. But this is a kind of nice way to take a look at it. I think it's a little bit more clear. Okay? So let me know what you guys think. And then we'll see what happens later on this weekend. And as always, we got June or July now with us. So we're going to get June production updates from the miners as well coming up here on Monday. That'll be coming out. So we'll take a look at those numbers as well, see how they are doing there. And then in about a month and a half, we'll start getting the quarterly results ending in June, obviously. Okay, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. Spreadsheet is available to my Patreon members, and I will do the screenshot of this for the YouTube members as well. I'll get that published here within the next hour or so. All right, so that's it. Have a great one. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.